As you know, the northeast of England has a legion of cryptid reports, let's put it that way. There is a small town called Beamish where a number of tall, hairy ape or caveman like creatures have been seen. So much so that the local folklore gave them the name the Stanley or the Beamish Hipper, and in other parts they call it the Stanley Yeti. There are also reports of shadowing following events, and people experience feelings of dread, or maybe they feel like they're no longer alone. I have reported on those cases before, so I won't go into depth with them. But a recent report came in during April of 2022, which could tie into those previous reports, and I've only just been able to get around to working on it. And the title of it is I Was Followed by the Stanley Hipper, Stalked and Shadows. The witness got in touch with me, if I remember correctly, through YouTube, and he said, "Hi Deb, I've just read the post you wrote where you shared a number of reports about the Stanley Hipper. I wanted to get in touch as I've had my own experience with this thing in the Beamish Woods area in the 1990s. I was followed by something for miles as I was walking. I never saw anything, but I knew I was being stalked, and I knew it was not a good situation that I'd found myself in. I could not shake that foreboding feeling. It was just really intense. When I walked, whatever was in those trees and shrubs walked. And when I stopped walking and stood still, it stopped walking too. And it was really close to me, but I couldn't see it. I've spent years roaming that area, and I've never had an experience like it before or since. The first time I became aware of the area was Karen Horton. I worked on her case. She saw a wild caveman up in a tree in 1974, and she was 6 at the time. She's just turned 50 now, and she's never forgotten that incident. Another man on YouTube got in touch and said, "I'm from Stanley, and this tale has gone on for years around here. Loads of people have seen it. That thing, they call it the Yeti or the Mad Hipper, the names people are giving it. Apparently, it's living in the Starwoods. If you look from high ground, you can see a woodland that resembles the shape of a star," he said. "About 20 years ago, me and a few of my mates, about 5 of us, had a brick thrown at the car as we were driving near the Beamish Museum. We saw a figure moving at great pace in our direction after the brick was thrown, and the figure cleared the fence, ran across the road, cleared the other fence in seconds with ease. Then it just disappeared into the woods. Now, bear in mind, it was moving quicker than the car that we were in. And this was at night, and there are a vast amount of tales revolving around Beamish like this," he said. "Ask people, they'll tell you. The list is endless." So add to this, the man who was watching start from the churchyard as he rode his bike on the coast-to-coast road. In the exact same area, you got people reporting feelings of dread. 2 separate sets of geocachers, and they don't know each other, completely separate, who were spooked from the woods by running feet and sudden feelings of dread again. Each of the groups attended on separate occasions, yet they both experienced the same type of activity. They were both there at night as well, shining torches, and I'm not sure whether that's got anything to do with it or not. In one case, the witness did not know if she was saved from harm by the creature she saw out there, or if she had a lucky escape because of it. She was basically walking through this cut. She had her earphones in. She didn't realise there was a man right at the back of her. So as she's walking, she hears a loud thud, like wood knock on the tree. She turns in that direction and she realises the man's behind her, and he seems a bit startled as well. And he passes her and carries on. And she says she can see a set of legs, which she at first thought, because they were hairy, could possibly be a horse or a cow. But when she made her way up to the edge line, she couldn't see it. She couldn't see anything, but she could see its legs. So I will put all of those reports and the other ones that come from the area together in a podcast for you. I think off the top of my head, there are probably 5, 6 reports. And it's an interesting area because you can get to a number of hotspots from it, but I'll explain more of that in a later video. So I made this for you to say thank you. I cannot thank you enough for the support. It's just nice to know that when I'm working on cases, people are actually interested in what's happening and what's going on in that area. And it's an absolute dream for me. It doesn't feel like work when I'm doing it like that. So you'll hear from me not too soon because the reports are coming in fast and thick at the moment. So I'll just be sharing the ones on here with you that are new, that you haven't heard before. And I'm sure you'll enjoy that. I'll see you all next week.